Mappa may have been under flack due to some of their recent projects not living up to the hype that many thought they would after seeing that illustrious Mappa logo smacked into the center of these series' adaptations. Anime like Hell's Paradise, which still ended up being fairly popular, still lacked that insane Mappa quality that we've been spoiled with. Even when that quality was present, like in Chainsaw Man, some fans had criticisms about the more cinematic approach that director Ryu Nakayama took with it. Despite enjoying it a lot, I can definitely see where these complaints come from, but Mappa seemingly silenced all of the doubters with their first couple of episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, and it's for a good reason. Jujutsu Kaisen's adaptation is simply phenomenal. It's so ridiculously good that I feel jealous that other series can't even come close to receiving the amount of love, care, and attention that Jujutsu Kaisen does. I already thought that Season 1 was great in general in terms of the adaptation, but Season 2 has somehow astronomically stepped up the quality of Jujutsu Kaisen's anime, and it's largely in thanks to the amazing ideas brought on by the new director, Shota Goshozono. Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen starts off with the Hidden Inventory arc, which highlights Gojo's past in his little run-in with Megumi's father, Toji Fushiguro. This arc isn't that long in the manga, so I was curious to see how the pacing would be in the anime and if stretching out certain elements of the manga would cause some of the content to become a little boring. Thankfully, this wasn't the case and pacing wasn't a big issue at all. Even though the first two episodes weren't necessarily jam-packed with action and were more slice-of-life shenanigans of Gojo, Geto, and the gang, it was still pretty entertaining to watch. This is due to the fact that everything in Jujutsu Kaisen looks so damn good. Seriously, episode 1 did not need to look that incredible, but Gosso said he's gonna go all out anyways and directed one hell of a season opener that had content that most would normally find boring. After all, this episode started off with Utahime and the incest enthusiast going into a haunted house for a casual mission that Mei doesn't seem too pressed about at all. Exploring the house led to some fun anticipation about what was gonna be in the house due to all the different perspective shots we got of it, making it seem a lot creepier. The cut of Utahime running for her life looked ridiculously good as well for no reason. Like, I'd expect this kind of cut during a high-octane fight, but that's the motto Gosso's going with for directing JJK's new season, going above and beyond all of the time. I found myself enjoying the gag moments as well and how characters are animated during them. The character acting is also done very well, which is important for the first couple of episodes since they're pretty slow and mostly rely on dialogue exposition. The art in general is really clean and I found myself being drawn into the landscape shots that we've gotten so far. There's been scenes of just rain or some grass being slowly panned across, but it looks so stunning that I never feel bored during these kinds of scenes. Like how I hope you aren't bored watching these videos. If you are, please let me know how I can improve them. If you enjoy them, feel free to like and subscribe for more anime and manga content. Another reason why these scenes are so easy to engage with is because of the clever sound design. There's a lot of moments where you can just hear what's going on in the environment, accompanied by footsteps, and it really makes the world feel a lot more immersive. There's a fair share of quiet moments as well, and the silence again adds to this effect and really enhances certain scenes, like when Geto was engaged in a cat and mouse game with Toji later on in the season. Basic stuff like Geto making tea or Gojo taking off his sunglasses also look ridiculously good. I'm sorry if I keep repeating it, but even the smallest parts of JJK Season 2 are done immaculately. But I know y'all don't watch the show to see a bunch of high schoolers banter about how strong they are or to watch them babysit a soon-to-be assimilated deity. Y'all watch it for the action, for the fights, and my goodness have they been incredible so far. In fact, Gojo's clash with Toji in episode 4 is easily the best episode of the series in my opinion, and that's saying something considering how stacked this adaptation has been with superstars from the industry. But to beat superstars, you need an ultra-talented superstar of your own, and episode 4 certainly had that, with the one and only Arifumi Imai joining the project to storyboard and direct episode 4. Imai is very famous in the industry for his iconic cuts in Attack on Titan. Any iconic cut that you have in your head when thinking about that series is probably done by Imai. There's a reason why there are so many Sakuga mads made in his honor. I'm getting ahead of myself though, because honestly everything past Toji's introduction has been a blast. This man just oozes him energy. Even though he's a serial gambler, kills high schoolers for fun, and is one of the worst fathers of all time to the point where he can barely remember his son's name, he is so cool. Up until this point of the story, Gojo's always been some crazy crackhead motherfucker that has always had the situation under control due to his virtually limitless power, no pun intended. Having an antagonist that makes Gojo surprised and scared of his power automatically makes Toji a lot cooler, and that's just how he makes Gojo react to him. His whole dynamic with the Zenin clan is really neat as well, and the way he dismantles two of the self-proclaimed strongest sorcerers while remaining calm and sly adds on to Toji's legend. On top of that, the way he systematically wore Gojo down to the point where he can get the lick on him was extremely smart, showing us that Toji's only dumb when it comes to managing money. But back to the fights themselves, Toji's initial clash with Gojo was phenomenally well done. Motion is extremely fluid during this clash, and we can see here that the dumbed down character designs for this season gave the animators a lot more freedom when it came to the fights. Backgrounds aren't as detailed during these high movement scenes, but it all flows together so wonderfully. Kinda reminds me of Ranking of Kings, another show both Imai and Gosso worked on. Seeing Gojo's blue annihilate everything around him in a circle had me extremely hyped up, and the perspective for that cut was super neat too. They didn't hold back when it came to showing how Toji murdered Gojo either. I get Gojo's a cocky bastard, but slashing him like that? Toji's gotta relax. Toji's clash with Geto was even more well done. I'd argue, starting from Toji cutting off the ending song when Riko was about to reclaim her life with Geto. I know it was supposed to be a touching moment, but I started laughing my ass off when the music stopped. I'm so sorry. As for Geto and Toji's clash, Imai went out of his way to redo the end of episode 3 with entirely new cuts depicting the same events. Toji and Geto quickly find themselves in a cat and mouse game where Toji explains how he slipped through the barrier while he literally slips in and out of Geto's view. The sound design really enhances the fact that Geto has no idea what Toji is planning and is trying to figure out his schemes when it comes to attacking. On the other hand, Toji continues to calmly combat Geto's cursed spirits with ease and completely overwhelms him even when he was seemingly on the back foot. The final slash from Toji to Geto was also really well animated, and again, this dude has too much fun beating up high schoolers. I already thought these fights were insanely impressive, so you can imagine how mind blown I was seeing Gojo versus Toji round 2. Gojo's feeling of pure bliss and enlightenment could really be felt through the screen thanks to the heavenly lighting and the piano ballad that made me feel like I was blankly staring at the bright blue sky. His voice actor did an amazing job teetering from pure bliss to pure insanity. Then we got Gojo's hollow purple reanimated, and let me tell you, I heavily prefer this to how it was shown in season 1. The water droplets were an excellent depiction of how Gojo uses both red and blue to create purple, and the blast resulting from it was jaw-droppingly well done. The step up in compositing is also present in this cut and has remained a bright spot in the production, when previously JJK wasn't known for having the best compositing. We're only just about wrapped up with hidden inventory, and Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 has already managed to look incredible. I'm getting hyped up just thinking about how Gosso is going to translate his vision for the Shibuya incident, which is easily the best arc of the series and features plenty of fights for him to go all out on. This season is truly special, and we're just getting started.